know the routine. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be free. Now let's say it like you mean it. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be free. Love y'all. Let's go. Number one thing is to choose to be wealthy, because a lot of us just say, hey, we're going to go to work. We hope that it works out. For most, it usually doesn't. Number two, we have to talk to our family and friends every day about money. So, see my guy Dom and P here, we talk investing every day to one another. Because if you don't have that inner circle, it's really hard to excel by doing it on your own. And then number three, you have to put a percentage of your money in the market every month to see how money actually flows. I tell people I would like for them to do 50%, but if not, 25%. I know some people may say that's a lot. Fellas, you spend more than 25% on dating and going out and trying to look cute and get you a little bae. There's room, and if you don't do it, she's gonna leave you for somebody who does, right? So those are the three things I would have people do. Oh, I'm biased, but I think Apple. Apple, if you look over a 20-year period, they have the smallest drawdown, which means they fall the least. So even during this crash that we're going through right now, Apple's only down 13%. Or Peloton's down 70%. ARKK down 80%. So it falls the least and has the most consistent gain. Microsoft is another that I like. Tesla is a good one if you need growth. And then on the index side, VO. So and an index is like an all-star team. So if you pick those, they'll automatically allocate the best companies in those. And if they're not playing well, they'll rotate them out. So those four are good. And just invest every month. Investing is really simple. The hard part is having the discipline to invest every month without fail. And that's why I think people should like automatically invest or get like a robo-advisor to do it for them every month so you don't have to think about it. Robinhood, start there. Yeah, I would start with any app that's easy for you to use. Because if you go to a complicated app, like when I first used TD Ameritrade, I was like, I'm in an alien spaceship. Like I felt like I was a pilot, right? Robinhood made it a lot easier. Then as you graduate, you can use another platform, but I would definitely start there. Ease of use is always most important. Oh, listen, honestly, you should start them at one, because when they go to the grocery store, they're grabbing, right? So if kids see, because they don't understand the concept of money yet, the things cost. So I would say, hey, this costs that. I started there. Then when he can verbalize, he asked me, what are those colors? Green is up, red is down. Just tell them one stock per day. So when you go into Target, McDonald's, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ford, money is floating all around us. The biggest issue and mistake that we make, we'll put our kids into football and basketball camps at 6, 7, 8 and wait till they're 19 to talk to them about money. It's too late. So if we talk to them early, it becomes a lot easier. And honestly, with our generation, it's intimidating because we got started too late. We know hip hop and basketball like the back of our hand, right? Why? We started at 2. So if we start with investing early, it'll be easy for them as well. In short form, to take over the world, I think there's a gap needed right now for a company that can give guaranteed gains over a 10 to 20 year period. That's what I want to build with my friends. But just outside of that, to be healthy, happy, full of peace, full of joy, make sure Xander's okay. Like that's what really matters to me. Because I grew up broke. So like there's a trauma, we were talking about it backstage. There's a certain trauma that you go through when you grew up poor. And if like flights have been cut off or you didn't know, when will money come in? Small thing like, will money come in today, tomorrow, next week, or next month? I wish I had something like this when I was a kid to be able to go to, especially where I'm from, East Chicago, Indiana. There wasn't any tours like this to talk to my community. I had to learn it through Snoop and Tupac and Dre and Cube, and Suge, and say that was what wealth was at that time. And even though they made some mistakes, they were the only ones who were really being financial literacy advocates at the time. And that's my motivation for being here. So no one has to wait to learn as long as I did.
Talk about home ownership. You know, it's a relationship that's just beginning. Me and my boy Paul Porter been speaking with the Crenshaw branch specifically of Chase Bank. Jordan and Kelvin, they work out of the, Jordan is the manager at the Crenshaw, and I guess it'll be Vernon, Angeles Vista if you're going up the hill. So we've been just having discussions for the last, maybe since last year, about how we could get younger people involved with, you know, you can't force somebody to be a home ownership, but if it's some part of you that wants to know about being a homeowner, you know, and you're coming of age and you're seeing things changing and you have a little money, or you wish to, you know, start a career or things of that nature, you know, we've just been having these great discussions about being a home ownership and how we could get people involved. And that's something that, you know, as a kid from LA myself who got the opportunity to start my own company and travel the world, and then buy a home, looking for my second home currently, you know, it was just something that was like right up my alley, for real. It wasn't even nothing I had to think too hard about. Man, I learned the hard way. I didn't have no family in music business. I still don't, you know. I learned the hard way, trial and error, doing what I love, failing more than succeeding, but learning always when I fail, you know? Learning always, or when things didn't go my way, learning always, and not being scared to try again, I guess. And bring people with me, you know, and ask people that I value their opinion questions, you know? And so that's how I learned, and I'm still learning. Like, I feel like it's a gift and a curse is that I've been doing it for so long, and that's a blessing, but I feel like the curse is I just feel like I'm starting to get good at it. Yeah, I'm just starting to get good at it. I feel like maybe with some self-esteem, pride, you know, my music. You know, if you're from LA and you see somebody, you know, it was important for me once I made the commitment to start putting myself out there and be an artist that I wanted to just inspire people like me and from around my way, and you know, let that be the center of attention. You know, if it spread out further than that, that's cool, but I wanted like LA, South Central, West Side, you know, I wanted those people to be the most pleased, I guess, with my efforts, you know what I'm saying, for sure. And those was the people I paid the most attention to, you know. And so just like, you know, kind of a sense of just community pride, I guess, you know, as if I was like running for mayor or playing basketball and winning a championship, you know, just things like that with my music, with my albums, with my experience, you know, so that way when people from LA, maybe let's say they went somewhere and then they could say, well, have you heard of him? Well, you know what I mean? He kind of resembles, you know, in a way, or shares the experience that's similar to what I go through. He talks about some of the places I go to or some of the streets I hang out on or drive down or frequent, you know, made it more familiar for me, you know, brought the world a little bit closer.
State. I'll just say real estate. My answer's quick.
I would say stop trying to keep up with people. I think, unfortunately, we come from a history of not having. And our culture has told us when we get the opportunity to have, we want to show the world we got it. And we do that with things that decrease in value over time, like furniture, jewelry, clothing, and all of those things. When people wear designer clothing and they don't have that amount of money in their emergency fund or in their investment or savings, then that's it's a backwards way to build wealth. So I often say rich people stay rich because they act poor. Poor people stay poor because they act rich. Poor people stay poor acting rich in front of other poor people.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is not what we want to do. So I think the first thing is to stop trying to impress people. I think if most people stop trying to impress people, if most people stop feeling guilty, many of us come up in situations we're the first to graduate from college, the first to get a real job, and so then we spend money on family members that we don't have out of guilt. We have to learn how to say no. So it really comes down to emotions. I say that there are 5 F's that are keeping us from being financially free. The first one is feelings, and most bad money decisions are attached to a feeling. I say there is no youngest age. The IRS says if you hire your kids to work in your home-based business, you can pay each child up to $12,500 a year. You can pay that child that money. It's a tax write-off to you. It's completely tax-free to them. So people say, well, where would I get that money from? You're already spending it. If you're spending it on daycare, $250 a week. If you're spending it on school clothes, school supplies, ballet, football, all of those things. So it's about how you allocate the money. If you give your child an allowance, that's not a tax write-off. But if you pay them a salary and teach them how to be an entrepreneur, you can. So the youngest age that you can work, look at the Gerber baby. Look at babies and baby commercials. They model. So if you have a business, the Department of Labor says if your child is working in a parent's home-based business, there are no labor laws. So they can work any number of hours a day at any time of the day as long as it's not hazardous work. So they can go into TV production, they can go into film, they can help, the younger kids can help with, bookkeeping, they can help with chores. There's so many things that kids can do. So when I first started working with Light 12 years ago, my youngest daughter was 7, and she was working for the business. She told me she wanted a room in a building with a desk. I was like, you gonna have to pay rent. She's like, okay, never mind. So we can start to teach our children at a very young age. I think that the elementary curriculum at kindergarten should be reading, writing, arithmetic, taxes, and God. I think if you start there, then those children will go home and teach their parents what they learned, and then we can start to build wealth from the ground up, literally.
Absolutely. And I think the reason why we're here is this is the work that we do, which is why JPMorgan Chase called upon, I'm sure, Lynn Richardson because of her financial experience. And I am a byproduct of all of what it is that she knows because she's enlisted me in to a program that says we are going to do better with finances. So I get to reap the benefits of her being a financial expert, and so does the brand MC Light because she's been able to grow it with the strategies that she's used for Fortune 500 companies.
And we want everybody to know that anybody can apply these principles. It's not just celebrities, which is why we're on this tour, because I was in retirement behind the scenes for about 8 years, and she was like, girl, you better get out there and start talking. I was like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to smile. Then Tavis Smiley called from KVLA, and but I'm very happy to do what I love and help people in the process.